Hi guys, and welcome to yet another Devcast. Today it will be a quick Devcast about the new interface and a feature in Dash about IAudioManager. Because some people were saying there was a feature requests that you initialize audio in some kind of asynchronous way, like loading addressables or in other kind of sources for your audio. And you know that till now in Dash there were some possibility to play audio in your graphs using a play sound node, which basically created or was already bound to some kind of audio source, which it simply played. But if you want a more advanced audio managing, like loading it on demand or disposing in when you don't need it, there are probably better implementations that you could do in your games, but there was this question how to connect this external implementation that you use in your game to Dash. That's why I decided to create this interface called IAudioManager, which then you can play using this new node in Dash version 0.13.1. So let me show you. It will be a quick thing. For now, the old play sound node was marked as obsolete. I may bring it back later. We'll see. But this new node also has the functionality of the old node. So even if you don't want to use the audio manager, you can use the new node. Just for backwards compatibility, I left the node still intact in Dash framework, so it will be functioning, the PlaySound node, but you cannot create it as a new node. So let's go to creation. I also created a new feature in this Dash version. You can now have subcategories in your nodes. So even if you create your own custom nodes, a lot of people do actually. For your project, you can have like a project name, and then you can have a categories under it. So this new category for audio is under creation. I will probably work on this categories in the next versions and basically like make it more readable. So because there are like a lot of animation nodes already, so I will do create some subcategories. But back to the audio, there is a play audio node. By default, it is basically the function of the old node. You have audio volume and you have audio clip that you can play on this node. But if you want to use Audio Manager, let me just change something quick just to show you. If you want to use Audio Manager, you can select it. Well, there will couple of other things will happen. First, the custom inspector for Audio Manager will pop up, and there will be no longer an input of audio source because you probably have these audio sources from the external sources as I mentioned. So you need to specify a name that will be played. You can also parameterize it if you want. But there was this question about how to communicate with this audio manager in inspector view, because sometimes, for example, in our cases, the part of the team that creates these graphs doesn't have the source code of the final project because they are separate. So the implementation of the audio manager may not be implemented in the code base the team that creates the graphs work with. So that's why there is this warning that the no audio manager implementation is found. So they basically will work just with the names themselves. But if you plug it in, just to quick, now I created this simple implementation of the interface. It will detect that there is using a reflection. It will detect that there is an implementation of this abstract of this interface, and it will initialize this manager just for the editor purposes. Otherwise, it's up to the project to initialize the audio manager, obviously, because if you have like tens of these nodes, not all of them will initialize their own audio manager. And then it will list all the audios that are inside this manager. And there is currently a warning that the current value, which is the audio test, is not a valid audio name according to the implementation of the audio manager. So there are two sounds implemented, and none of them is audio test. So if I just select it, it will change the audio name to the correct name. If I just change this, again it will tell you that there is no valid audio like that. Keep in mind that this is purely for editor time. It's just for you to see that, okay, maybe they gave me a graph with a audio name that's not valid. I can see that my audio manager doesn't have it. Still, the node, the serialized data of this node is purely a string. So if you just take it to other project, it will work without the custom implementation of that particular audio manager. So let's show you the interface. It's a very simple interface. It has Ploy Audio, which takes this may change in the future because we already talked about like aggregating some sounds and so on. But this is the initial interface we are working with right now. It's the Ploy Audio with the audio name and volume. There is a function about has audio, which just checks if the audio name exists. It's currently not used. And then there is this get audio names. That's purely for, you can use it in runtime because I didn't set it to editor time. But we'll see if this gets changed. But that's what's feeding this pop-up about the audio names that are implemented. And then there is this new function that will come in 0.13.2 version, which is purely editor time, and it's just to play audio inside preview. So if you want to preview this audio and play it inside the editor using the preview dash preview, because you may implement this in a different way than you implement the runtime play audio for various reasons like addressables initialization and so on. You may even skip this implementation or implement it as an empty function. So there is no preview. This will get called when you play the project inside the Unity editor, obviously, because this the play uh, inside Unity is simulating the real scenario, which will be the runtime on the device or on PC and so on. This is just used for previewing during editor time using the dash preview. And then I just implemented this custom. As you can see, I didn't implement these methods, so because I don't use them currently. I just implemented it to feed the pop-up with these custom names. Again, you can have different implementations. You may know the list of the names you are using, but you may load it externally even. So it's up to you. Then to actually use this custom audio manager, you need to set it on dash core instance during runtime, because that's how the dash accesses the instance of the audio manager implementation. So if you go to the play audio mode, you'll see that this is the old implementation for the audio source, and this is the new using the audio manager. So it basically asks Dashcore about the audio manager, and if the audio manager was found, it will play the audio. There are still some questions about should this fail silently or not if there is no audio manager. we'll see about the feedback, because some people want it to fail silently, like I don't have Audio Manager initialized in a specific reset cases, for example. So I don't want it to tell me that it's not initialized. I want just for it to fail silently, but we'll see about the feedback, and I may add some warnings around that. So that's actually everything for now. And let me know about your specific use cases about playing audio in Dash graphs. And I'm also very curious about other external stuff that you use in Dash in a specific way that would need to be implemented through interface like this. There are some implementations I saw from you guys that you are using the call method, the experimental node call method just for this. I saw some people using externally implemented audio managers using call method inside Dash. So now you can use this, but I'm also curious about other things that may be implemented in a better way. That's more readable than a reflection call using a call method node inside the graph. So thanks for any feedback, guys. See ya.